Senator Davis and his on the opiate part of it, which is an epidemic, as we all know, and if we have other things, there's always something new coming along, and you're going to hear about some new things that's coming along. So we appreciate Shelley, and one of the things we recommend is for the local LMEs to come out in the community and tell you what they're doing. And I can tell you Smokey is working very hard to put some to think outside the box a little bit. You've got, if these people had cancer, you wouldn't take them, put them in a hospital, and there's not another disease in the world you'd lay in an AR for 100 hours.
It doesn't that sad?
We'll get to you when we can.
That really puts it in perspective. And when you look at some of the addiction issues that are destroying communities and families, part of when I ask you to really support the maintenance of the state funds for this area is that these people don't have many of the people that are dealing with addiction do not have Medicaid. That's why our state funds are just such a critical resource to serve people who may not qualify for Medicaid. So I appreciate it. And, just as a reminder for anyone in crisis, try the walk-in center first. We have a walk-in center, Appalachian Community Services, up on the old Smoky site. They still are there. We always ask people try that first and call their mobile crisis management, but we know that it's just hard to break the habit or the routine, and somebody might really need crisis care because of other physical issues in the hospital.
This deputy sitting right back here has probably been on as many 1073 calls as anybody in the Macon County unit. We've had a lot of long discussions, and he'll tell you that this, since last Tuesday, there've been lots of those calls come in, and they always end up on my phone too, and they affect a lot of folks. And had that person, heaven forbid, had cancer, they'd be at Duke University getting the best treatment to try to rescue that person the best way they can, but yet it's a mental illness. We'll put them in the emergency room for 100 hours with no treatment. It's just, it's the most amazing thing you've ever seen. So but things are improving, and we hope, but we've got to have more beds. These people need some help, Mr. Chairman, and we do thank the governor and this task force. It was, and it's going to be a full report. You'll get a copy. Everybody will get a copy. And but Shelley, thank you for all your work over the years too.
Well, thank you, and I'll continue to send you guys updates, and I'll be back out soon.
Thanks, Shelley. Thank you.
Thank you, Shelley.
Thank you.
Appreciate it very much. Under old business, we have, it's in your board packet, we have a project ordinance amendment for the Union Academy and Highland School. Laura, you want to hit the highlights of that?
Yeah, I believe it was, let's see, back in July, we adopted a capital project ordinance for Union Highlands, which appropriated some fund balance from general fund, as well as some school capital project fund balance. So this ordinance amendment just reverses those two appropriations and actually appropriates the loan, the QZAB money.
Right,
So,
puts the money back.
yeah, it's just
Okay.
just one of those housekeeping things we needed to do.
I would entertain a motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion passes. Mr. Manager, the cancellation of contract.
Yes, I'll let Chester take the lead on that. He has drawn us up a rescission of contract for shade structures with Shade America, and Seth's here as well.
Gentlemen, if you'll recall, a month or so back, you approved a contract with Shade America, Inc. for the provision of some shade structures out at Parker Meadows. That contract was actually put out for bid. Shade America, Inc. was a low bidder. Subsequent to the entry of the contract, we learned that Shade America, Inc. was not a licensed general contractor, and it appears that this particular project is going to require a licensed general contractor. And so we looked at multiple different ways of possibly trying to resolve this. The conclusion we came to, the best way it could be handled would be to cancel this contract and essentially start that process. So,
And rebid it.
yes.
Okay.
I think the idea would be is we'll probably take informal bids for materials and informal bids for the construction separately.
So you
Do we
just,
not pay these folks money?
There is a deposit that was made by the county, and pursuant to the terms of this rescission agreement, those funds would need to be returned to the county.
that's in there.
Yes, sir. Now, that number would need to be provided to me by Lori. I don't have the exact number, and so
It's in, the space is in there.
the space is there, and that would need to be provided by Lori.
Since we're on such a time crunch here to try to get this stuff, how long, what,
It's an informal bid process, so we should be able to turn it around pretty quick.
have they started production?
They got them done.
They're done.
They're done.
Are they gonna send us our money back?
If they're not the low bidder, they are. They'll bid again, but they're
They're not
backed up.
licensed.
But
Well,
understand, they're
We-
gonna only
we
be
separated
bidding
the
upon the materials.
Materials.
Oh, material,
materials on.
gotcha. So
Look
it'll be a
for
little bit,
a quick turnaround.
well, it's
Yeah.
gonna be a little bit, okay.
We need a motion to.
Motion to approve the rescission of the contract for Shade,
And to authorize the county manager to fill in the number for the return.
and
of the
authorize the
deposit.
county manager to fill in the number as instructed.
Okay. Second by Commissioner Shields. Discussion. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion passes. Thank you. Chester, next item is the capital project ordinance for the landfill.
Yeah, that's coming your way, Kevin. So yeah, this is just the capital project ordinance we need to adopt to appropriate the 9.8 million special obligation bond and then appropriate that within the expenditure lines. And as you'll notice, we have one correction. I used a previous ordinance and just failed to change the name of that last line item to contingency. So this will, if you approve this, it will be, I will make the final change to give to Mike to record to say contingency.
Okay. And gentlemen, this just reflects what we've already approved as far as the project and the amount.
Right, that's correct.
But we need a motion to approve the ordinance. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion passes. Under new business, we've already done A. B is the lease agreement with Macon County and Bonita Hamstra for Highlands Road Convenience Center. Chester.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, we were looking through the files and determined that indeed it was time to enter into a new lease agreement between the county and the Bonita Hamstra Revocable Trust for the convenience center, I believe is the right term. Is that correct, Chris? This is out on Highlands Road to drop off your solid waste, consumer solid waste. The lease had expired. It's time to do another one. I've talked with Chris. He has in turn spoken with Ms. Hamstra. They have agreed upon a 5-year lease at the same rental of $375 per month with a option on the part of the county to extend for an additional 2 years at the same rate. When the agenda package went out, it contained a copy of the lease, and I'm not sure what happened. I suspect what happened is when it was being scanned in to be emailed out, it dropped a page. It dropped page 7, and I have provided each of you with a copy of page 7.
Make a motion to approve the lease agreement.
Okay, we have a motion second to approve the lease agreement as presented. All discussion?
That's still the most active drop-off center, Chris, in the county,
That's the busiest one, isn't
the
it?
busiest one.
Yeah. Other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion passes. We have item 10C, Macon County Schools.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioner Shields and myself as liaisons to the school met with Superintendent Baldwin and board member Mr. Breedlove concerning the track at the school. If you remember, last year you did not see this on their request sheet for capital outlay to redo the track at Franklin High School. The reason for that is first of all, they had a private donation, a large private donation. They were going to attempt to raise some funds. That has not been successful. They brought this back to our attention that the weather has to be almost perfect, for number one, to do this. So the latest bid to do this with tax tag and title is $58,712.50. And in our opinion, and Mr. Shields can certainly speak to it, asking Chris and Mr. Breedlove, is for two reasons. Number one is the liability issues that's created at this track with the, if you see, the patches are gone. And number two, we want to bring back track meets at our local high school for a lot of reasons. So, but let me say it with a caveat. This company that's going to do this, to do the work, is called Competition Athletic Services. They're out of Chattanooga, and they're going to apply 2 layers of 1 to 3 millimeter black SBR rubber with binder, and to bring it back into good shape. But we know with the water problems that regularly persist at that area, that there's no guarantee with this track. We hope to get several years out of it as we did before. But out of the $58,712, we do have a private donor willing to donate $27,500 of that, leaving a balance of $31,212.50. Out of that, Mr. Baldwin said they could come up with half of that money, leaving the obligation to the county of $15,606.25. Mr. Shields can certainly agree to it, but we have agreed that this is something that the county we think is a good investment for $15,606. It's used by, we've missed the track season this year already, but it's used by a lot of citizens, especially those who run. And we've already had a couple of instances there of people who have fallen, and Mr. Shields will certainly speak to that. So with that, Mr. Chairman, we can discuss if I'd like to go ahead and make a motion that we take out of this budget year contingency $15,606.25 for our portion of resurfacing the track at Franklin High School.
Lori, can I get a second for discussion? Second. We have a motion and a second. How much do we have left in contingency for this year?
98,909. And we need to make that even, just 15,607 if you want to round up.
So
Yeah,
Is that okay?
we can do those. I think 75 cents is okay, Chris.
we got
As far as our budget amendment, we need to round up.
we got another month and change left. Anything on the horizon that unforeseen, Derek?
There's one possible thing that we may have next month that concerning senior citizens services center, but it's not going to be near
So we've got 98,900, so if we take
You have
$15,600.
$83,000.
They won't be near that kind of
left,
money.
so-
No.
How much is left in the QZAB
I don't,
appropriation?
I'd hate to tell you a wrong number. There's a little bit of money left, not a whole lot.
Is it enough to cover this?
We can't use it for this. It has to be used for either Union or Highlands, the school it was borrowed for.
He's
No.
talking about the,
Oh, the
The-
199, no, it's all gone.
It's gone.
It's all been transferred out right now. Sorry.
I think one thing that sometimes we forget, that this is a classroom every day. They use that from 8:30 to 2:30 every day. And it is a classroom. And it's used for male and female. Right.
Is your private donor, I know that was a good, we had this discussion a long time. Is a private donor still willing to do that?
That's my understanding.
Okay.
I haven't spoken directly with the private owner,
But we're very confident in
But
our
that's with
discussions.
this understanding, because without that, you're talking about us coming up
But
with.
in our discussion, Mr. Chairman, I think that's pretty well a yes.
Because I believe they contacted the phone as we were having the discussion.
Okay.
Personally, wouldn't mind seeing us fund the whole amount.
Pardon me, sir?
So But I personally wouldn't mind us seeing us fund the whole amount and let them leave that amount in their capital outlay.
If it comes down to it, if something happens to the donor or something, but I believe the
I mean,
condolence.
no, minus the donor.
Okay.
Yeah. You said they were gonna come up with half.
Well, I mean, they can come up with half. I think they have the half. If they need some more capital outlay in the future, I think we could revisit that, Mr. Taylor.
Throwing it out there. You know, I like to support the school.
Well, we're supporting the school.
Of course, if we stay with Derek's recommended budget, we'll be going to 500,000 in capital outlay, so it's gonna be which is the right thing to do. Other discussion?
And another reason just to do this, and outside of this, we couldn't even have our Special Olympics there this year because of the condition of that
No,
track.
it's dangerous, you know,
I mean, it's just-
I've been down there quite a bit, it's.
For no other
especially
reason,
backside.
than that right there, we should do it.
Other discussion?
That's why he's already said it's already gone. You made me think about Special Olympics. Are we gonna have the event?
It's in Graham County this year.
It was already being.
Already, yeah.
I'm talking about the little ball game we had last year, the first team.
I don't know. The map.
I have,
They opened up the,
Ms. Key has contacted me about that, and Seth has been out of town. He just got back this week, and putting budget stuff together and everything. We're gonna sit down and with Ms. Key and Seth and myself and discuss the possibility of us doing with something that with Mr. Baldwin. Gonna ask him
buses,
to
activity
get on
buses and
board.
things. And I know we're talking about two different things.
I was gonna say, the
Yeah,
discussion.
we need to.
Any other discussion on the track? I'll restate the motion is to transfer 15,606 from,
700. She said the revenue at 607.
15,607 from contingency to
Capital outlay.
capital outlay in schools, designated for the track.
I'll second it.
And any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion passes. Thank you, Mr. Beal and Mr. Shields. We're down to the consent agenda. That would include minutes from 2 meetings, budget amendments. Mr. Baldwin, do we need a budget meeting with you guys? Or
We appreciate it.
do we need to do, Derek, we need to do that before or after we meet on the 31st?
We could do it before if we
Probably
want.
before.
It needs to be
Go
before.
ahead.
I would say before,
Yeah.
yeah. We do a meeting during the day or something.
Yeah, we can do it. Yeah, we can set it up tomorrow and I can get back to the board.
Okay, I just say
Okay.
how about the 24th is 2 weeks from tonight. If we
Yeah.
met,
I'm gone.
you're gone the 24th?
Yeah, we gone from the 24th to the 28th, but that's fine. Y'all go ahead.
Well, Derek, you want to send out a note, or does everybody have dates that would work for them?
Unfortunately, that has graduation.
What's that?
That has graduation.
What about the 23rd?
When you gonna be on? Ron?
For me.
That you have a meeting that night, Mr. Chairman?
I do, yeah.
You have a meeting
I
that
do.
night?
That won't work.
22nd.
It's on Sunday.
Sunday.
Meet after church.
Art exhibition and footloose.
And the 30th would be the Memorial Day. What about the 16th?
Yeah, let's. 16th was County Assembly Day.
No,
No, that's-
we
that's
leave
Monday.
the 17th. That's,
County Assembly Day is the 18th.
but that's only,
16th.
that's only next Monday.
That's Monday.
Get it
But you're
done.
running out of dates, yeah.
That's next
It's like
Monday.
Monday or nothing, because y'all are gonna be gone.
Yeah.
You don't think we could put them on the 31st and maybe work them in? Shouldn't take no long. Well, you got the fire department.
Do it as part of that meeting.
Fire department, and if we want to, just any other questions that the board.
See how many questions you get on the budget. I mean, the presentation you got, we got our books.
That's fine. You requested 5:30, you okay with?
I'm fine moving it up to 5 or 4:30.
Can we make that meeting 5 o'clock and we'll include the Board of Education
31st.
on the 31st? You okay with that, Paul?
What do you say, Craig?
Do it in one meeting.
Do it all at one time and have it over with.
It's fine with me.
Sounds good.
By good, Derek?
Let's see what
Gary, you okay
Dr.
with that?
Baldwin says.
31st?
Or on the same day?
Yep.
See if you guys can do it on the 31st.
We got several projects that night, I think, in high school. with us. First time judging.
Would that involve your board members?
Yeah, me.
What time are those?
Starting 5:30. That's what I have on the calendar.
Could we do it in the middle of the day? I mean, I know that's your this your
Let's
busy
move it
time.
up. Let's go to 4:30, 4.
We do it at 4 o'clock?
Should be.
But don't we have another meeting on the 31st?
It was that later on.
I can,
No.
No, it's the same, we're talking about, that's gonna be our budget, workshop. But he's saying move,
Move the
Them
workshop
up.
up to 4.
Move the schools to 4 o'clock.
Schools to 4.
I mean,
We'll start
can you guys do
hour and a
that?
half, be plenty of time.
Do it all in one lick? Jim, can
I'm
you-
fine with that.
Okay,
on the 31st, we had another meeting.
all right,
6 o'clock.
all right. 4 o'clock, we okay with doing it at
That's
4
the same
o'clock?
meeting. The same
The
meeting.
same meeting.
Same meeting.
But I've got to contact them, and I can't do senior project.
No, they'll be done by senior. Or, well, yeah, we'll probably be going on.
You got a senior project that day?
Judge, the judge.
What time's that
If
over?
we start at 4 o'clock,
9 o'clock,
9
yeah.
on the 31st?
Yeah, it's over about 9 o'clock, 8:30, 9.
We'll be here.
I know, that's
Oh,
what I'm
you-
saying, I need to call them, and let them know that I can't be there.
Oh.
Find another judge.
Oh, that's what,
That's what he's talking about too.
all right, so is 4 o'clock gonna accommodate us?
Should be.
And we'll do 4 o'clock with them, and then we'll schedule the fire departments to be here
I'll have us an agenda set up.
at 5, okay, that's fine. 4 o'clock, gentlemen. And just send us out a reminder of that. All right, very good. Thank you, Mr. Baldwin. Thank you, Jim, for reminding me of that. We've got the consent agenda, which you had in your packet, includes minutes, budget amendments, et cetera. We have a motion to approve that.
approve the consent agenda, Mr. Chairman.
We have a motion and second, any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, that motion passes. We have the, flip over to it, Social Services Board. Get back to it.
Mr. Chairman, on the Social Services
yeah.
Board, you see I think it's a copy of the email
Darlene
in the
Green.
packet from the DSS Director, Mr. Beckencourt,
Yep,
about,
Darlene
they
Green. replaced Jim
recommend
Garner.
Darlene Green, who is who's longtime, Caterpillar, longtime, what was her job?
She's a real estate,
I don't know.
Ed Cat,
No,
Ned.
but at CAT, she was HR director at CAT for, I guess, 32 years.
Yeah,
And they thought that she'd be a great fit at DSS because of her background in that and HR service. And they unanimously suggested Darlene, and if you know Darlene, she'll work hard at anything she chose.
if you'll put that in form of motion.
That's a form of motion that we accept the recommendation of that board
Do
and
we-
appoint Darlene Green to the DSS
Do
board.
we have a second?
Right.
Motion second, in discussion. Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion passes. Southwestern Community College, you see attached a letter from Terry Bell to myself about the expiration of Mr. Gary Shields.
Who?
Gary Shields, SHIELDS. He did say in his letter that they would appreciate the reappointment of Mr. Shields. So
Is Mr.
he said that
Shields-
he has provided exemplary trustee, and Mr. Shields' reappointment would be most welcome. So what's the pleasure of the board?
Be glad to see us do anyway.
Gary's 4 years.
No, I've only been there
3,
years.
2 years.
No, I took
No, it's,
one person.
He took somebody's place.
I took somebody's place for a year, didn't I?
Okay.
I've been on there 2 years as
so it'll be 3 years total.
I've got to go back to ethics training.
Okay.